kaiju, dude. Oh, okay, now it's better. Still gross. And there it is. The skull crawler is an insanely ugly creature. Now, in this list, I'm not going to be including anything that's actually planned to come in the Kaiju universe, since they unveiled a bunch of stuff like Space Godzilla and other epic things are already on the way. If it's already on the way, there's no point mentioning it. This is for stuff that's not on the way. That's not being added in any way, shape, or form. That needs to be. So leave a like on the video so, I don't know, it gets a lot of support. I could be like, look how many people want these Kaiju. Okay, first on the list, we're starting out nice and boring. Something everyone in the world can pretty much agree on. Something that we all know needs to be added. Doug, Titanus Douglas. Now, Titanus Doug, initially the Kaiju devs say they would not be adding it because it's just a meme creature, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't exactly a big, strong Kaiju. But see, it's not just a meme anymore. The Godzilla vs. Kong 2 creators have already stated that they're gonna add Doug to the movie too, just because he was so universally loved. So basically, he was such a big meme that now he's gonna become an actual regular Titan, meaning the Kaiju universe developers have to add him. Basically, now your hands are tied. He's also not as harmless as people think. Everyone thinks he's just like this little turd monster. He's literally like a third of the size of Godzilla. Doug is actually gymongous, dude, because he's part of Godzilla's family, or like his family tree genus. He's like a similar evolved life form, that sort of thing, but he's huge, dude. Like, he's monstrous. Are you following me? I need an adult. I think he'd fit in absolutely perfectly. He's definitely bigger than a skull crawler, so you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like he wouldn't fit in. He'd fit in fantastically. So that's number one on my list. Doug, Titanus Douglas. If Ghidorah is the one who is many, Doug could just be called the one who is adorable. Okay, second on my list is a weird one. A really weird one, but I stand by it. Amulak. I don't know how to pronounce the second one on my list, but I get the general thesis of the name, Mulan. For those of you who don't know, this is the creature that appeared in the comics, and now the comics are canon. They take place in between the Godzilla movies. They just fill in gaps and certain stuff, so it's legit. Like the stuff for the comics needs to be in this stuff too. Mulan is basically like this telepathic membrane creature wrapped in a bunch of plants and vines and stuff that it basically controls with its telepathic abilities, making it into a giant armored outer skeleton, but it's literally just the stuff inside of it that's the actual creature, this like telepathic creature attaching all these plants to it. It's pretty insane. The creature's also insanely powerful, was able to beat the crap out of Behemoth in the comics to the point that Godzilla had to go save it. I've said the story 1,000 times, but just so everyone knows, Godzilla basically decided that Behemoth has more value to the ecosystem because its turds are like so rich in nitrogen and stuff that it literally sprouts entire rainforests wherever it takes a dump. And luckily, because Amula controls plant life and stuff like that, plant life is weak to fire, Godzilla with his atomic breath was able to make easy work of it. But if you don't have like fire breath spitting out of your face, he's near impossible to beat. That's why he beat the crap out of Behemoth so easy, who's a giant mammoth monster but doesn't stand a chance when you're like a telepathic plant beast. I don't know what kind of moves it would have. You guys should actually comment move ideas down below. Its moves would basically mostly be just melee based for the most part. Maybe some wicked regeneration stuff. I guess we'll discuss the moves down below in the comment section. I guess for that matter, Doug would just have a bite, maybe a bite, a scratch, a belly flop, and some sort of charge type thing, since he's also just melee based. They're not the most intricate kaiju. That's not even a word. Okay, third on my list, a pretty obvious one. Well, not obvious, but it needs to be added. Gigan Rex from that like Godzilla Jr. versus Gigan Rex short film that unleashed preferably the red one, just because he was like the alpha and the toughest. I don't actually know a lot about Gigan Rex. It's just pretty much the stuff we saw in the video. But based off the video, it's extremely agile and extreme. You want the beef? This guy wants the beef. You can't handle the beef. That's a nuclear Godzilla. You could probably handle a fair amount of beef. All right. You win this round. As far as Gigan Rex's moves, your guys' guess are as good as mine too. We know it has obviously its beam. We know it has its ability to use its claws and ability to use its spinning chest blade. As long as those three moves are incorporated, I just think it looks absolutely amazing, and it's one of the coolest kaiju I've ever seen, and it's so different and awesome. It needs to be added to this game. Obviously the Godzilla could be added too, but technically it's already in the game because it's Godzilla Jr. just as a grown-up. But obviously we should have grown-up Godzilla Jr. in this game too, but he's not in my top 5. Okay, my next one is extremely awesome, possibly the coolest one I want added ever. He's called Hyper Godzilla. Hyper Godzilla is a crazy combination between Mothra wings and Godzilla, where the creatures basically form in some like Dragon Ball Z fusion type situation. It's without a doubt the strongest kaiju to ever exist, or that will ever could possibly exist used in the current MonsterVerse. I can't talk about, I don't know, Final War, Space Godzilla, those kind of things. I don't know where they lay on the power scale. As far as the MonsterVerse goes, though, Hyper Godzilla is without a doubt the most powerful life form ever. Now, its moves can range like crazy. It is a nuclear creature, but it would have atomic breath for sure. Even the Godzilla King of the Monsters producer or whatever confirmed that nuclear Godzilla does have atomic breath. He just didn't use it. So he's got to have atomic breath. He's got to have a nuke. He's got to have some Mothra style moves. Obviously, something related to his flying. I'm honestly not sure even the moves of this creature either. He's such a spectacular beast. All I know is he'd be the most powerful thing by far. Basically an unstoppable killing machine. It would have to be one of the hardest things to earn ever in this game. Like the most end game thing ever. Definitely not pay to get like nuclear Godzilla. It's got to be something everyone could get for free as long as they grind for it like crazy. You got to imagine it'd be insanely strong, not just because it's a Godzilla Mothra, but because it's Godzilla Mothra, if that makes sense. Like Mothra is like, remember Mothra has the memory of every past life she's ever had, so she has like thousands of years of battle experience in her brain mixed with Godzilla. It would literally be some kind of crazy Gogeta situation where it's just the ultimate life forms combined, and now it's like the scariest thing that humanity's got to offer. Check it out, I'm famous. It's a Spanish-speaking server. They don't even know who I am. They're just admiring my beastly level 105 Skullcrawler because I'm awesome. That's what it is. Okay, the fifth and final selection for me to be added to KAIJU Universe is an awesome one that should, I think they all should for sure be added, but this one is by far the most logical. It's Camazotz, the giant bat kaiju that was living under Skull Island, the creature that has like the ability to lure storms to itself. Camazotz is literally the reason Skull Island's destroyed. Evidently his like ability to lure storms lured the giant hurricane that Monster Zero left over. He lured it to Skull Island, basically destroying it. That's why that little girl's got no family, and that's why Kong's got no home, all because of that bat monster. But he also came out and challenged Kong at one point with this little army of whatever. Oh crap, I forgot what his little army's called. Actually, that would have to be a move too, where he could summon in, I don't know if that'd be possible, but it'd have to be, if it could be done. But Camazotz was almost basically able to defeat Kong. The creature's crazy. It's got that sonic roar that is such high frequency piercing that it literally vaporizes humans. It nearly made Kong go deaf, but it's so powerful if a human was exposed to it, they're literally just vaporized into just like particles of mush. I think Kong was only able to defeat it because he was like half dead, like basically nearly about to die, but he just got a really good punch off on it and broke its jaw. Because as it stands, Kong may have his like downsides, you know, but he's a giant ape. Have you seen the size of his forearms? Like if he lands one good punch, that's kaputs. So that's basically how Camazotz could play it out. Like he'd be a very strong kaiju. He wouldn't be able to beat Kong in a melee match, but if he just kind of played the range game and used his roar a bunch, he could easily defeat Kong. So as long as his moves are based around that, he is confirmed to be a vampire bat, Camazotz, so one of them could be a blood-sucking regeneration move, another one his roar that deafens kaiju, and then just various biting and scratching tactics, which should be his other moves, and then Camazotz could be perfectly added to this game. So those are my top 5 kaiju that I'd love to see added to KAIJU Universe. That would fit in amazingly. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys have a different 5 or that kind of stuff, I'm sure everyone's got a different 5. But man, out of all of those, if Hyper Godzilla, if I could choose only one of my top 5 to be selected and added to this game, it'd be Hyper Godzilla for sure, dude. It's just insane. So yeah, leave a like on the video, comment any move ideas you have down below for these kaiju, and I'll see you guys next time.